anti-prenup.
Wow.
I'm anti-prenup. I believe that if you need a contingency plan for marriage,
speak on it.
You shouldn't be marrying them.
Oh my God.
If you need to protect yourself from your future partner who you have to lay in bed with every night, the potential mother or father of your children, you shouldn't be marrying them. A prenup to me is like a seatbelt on an airplane. If you need that seatbelt on an airplane, you got way bigger issues than the seatbelt. Airplane going down. So I got money. I'm actually anti-prenup. I understand the thought process behind it, but if you're entering into like a covenant with an individual who quite literally controls your life, you will be asleep next to them every single night. They control whether you live or you die. If you are in the hospital on life support, they dictate if the doctor pulls the plug or does not. And you want a prenup?
Yo,
I'm just anti.
This is and I don't know what it is, but lately we just been disagreeing. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I stand with Dak and the number 4 Cowboy Church right here. What? Okay.
Wow.
Do you got a car?
Of course.
Do you drive?
Of course.
Do you drive every day?
Of course.
Okay, bet. Do you look to get in a car accident?
Never.
Oh wait, do you have cars? Do you have insurance? Car
Of course.
Insurance. He wants to get married. He's not looking to get a divorce. But in the event that might happen, I've got security. Same way when people got a car insurance. You got a car you drive every day, you see it every time. But in the event if I get in a car accident, I'm protected. All I'm saying is this, man, like to make all that type of money, right? And you see times where people get divorced and they talk about the person gets half. I look at the Tiger Woods situation. Tiger Woods, I mean, he was wrong for everything he did. But you gonna give him half, though? Half?
All right, so our good brother Dak, real quick. So it alleged that it came out that brother Dak, what made them fall out was a prenuptial agreement. Also, I missed what Acho said in there a little bit. So Emmanuel, Acho, a tether, was going back and forth with LaShawn McCoy in there, with McCoy, and they co-host about a prenup. So I'm gonna tell you why there'll always be a surplus of dudes to get a prenuptial agreement, right? It always gonna be a surplus. But give me 1 minute. Yeah, it's always gonna be a surplus of dudes to get a prenuptial agreement. But hey, check out the Real One-on-One playlist, NFL playlist, the whole nine. So basically, allegedly, they fell out over prenuptial agreement talks. She didn't want to sign a prenup. Let me let y'all know. A prenuptial agreement is not always, 50-50, or you take what you brought to the relationship and I take what I brought to the relationship. That's not what a prenuptial agreement is. It's an agreement. If this happens, this is how our assets is divided. That's all it is. I don't know why people just think a prenuptial agreement is you brought what you came what you brought with the relationship. I came what I brought with the relationship. That's not a prenuptial agreement. You can put things in a prenuptial agreement like that, or you could put something in a prenuptial agreement if we break up for infidelity and it's proven that she was unfaithful to me, she leave with nothing, or I give up half the houses that I have. You just divide the assets up. That's all it is. Child time, who gets child, who get custody, how often they get custody. If we accumulate more properties or houses, how are they divided up down the line and all that stuff. So that's all pretty much getting married is. You know what I'm saying? I mean, a prenuptial agreement is if this happens, same thing with a will. You know what I'm saying? Most girls be like, well, I don't want to be a friend in the obituary. You can be still treated as a friend in the obituary, even if you're the wife. With or without especially without a will, you still can get jived. People just think, oh, he got a will, I'm out at that. Nah. So just as if you want that man to have a will, he needs to have a prenuptial agreement. You know what I'm saying? And that's what people don't really understand. People hear prenup and be like, no, it's the same thing. That's what a contract without the government is. So when you go there and do a contract without the government, when you come do a contract without the government, that's the same thing. It's just a prenuptial agreement without the government saying you was married. Now let me go back in time and allow y'all to know this. At one point in time, it wasn't, when black people was the highest married people in the country, it was no, the government wasn't involved in marriage. It was strictly religion. Government, what they did with a lot of churches, even if you watch The Wire, it shows you how the churches are connected to the politics, to the job force. That's what people don't even understand. But just what they did with marriage, they did with the churches. They turned them into a financial institution. And even worse, they determine in a lot of major cities who get voted in on a major scale. Don't forget, Trump came to Detroit and came to Brandon T. Jackson Daddy Church, Wayne T. Jackson Church, and him, chilling with them. That was the difference between him winning the vote and losing the vote the first time around, or being a president. So they got to understand, they when the government get involved in stuff, it gets sticky. You know what I'm saying? They broke, and I know Dak is mulatto and is Becky. He got a Becky, right? But like, even when you look at marriage, what did they do to black people? They was the highest married. They was galvanized. What did they do? They legalized marriage to make money off of it, right? They turned around, start offering, project housing for them, Section 8 housing for them to this day. And it was all incentive to lead a man. Even going into, if you found a guy to marry you, there was incentive. Guess what? There was incentive for you to leave and get money from that man. Guess what? When you get money and leave that man from a marriage, the government get a snip. When you have a child, child support, people would make you believe that child support was created because of black men. That wasn't true. Brad was the reason child support was invented. Brad was going out, cutting out on their kids and leaving their families. Real talk. That's child support was created because of Brad. And his history will show you that. Even when you look at the CDC and who's the best fathers and most involved fathers, is black fathers. It's always been that way. And they created a system in which black women can leave the father. You don't know who the father is? We'll help you out. And they know who the father is. So they changed everything. Child support wasn't because they were upset that the father wasn't helping the child. I don't give a fuck about the children. Look what they be putting in the children's body. I ain't gonna get too deep into that. I'm not gonna get in that at all. They care about the children. They don't care nothing about your children. You feel me? So it's like everything was a strategic move to destroy community, or a strategic move to get more money out of men. Marriage, they always wasn't involved in marriage. The government got involved in marriage. They wasn't involved in destroying the black community. They used crack, Section 8. Come on, man. They even got the war on drugs to get in there. They wasn't always involved in marriage. They wasn't involved in child support. And in divorce. And it said, a lot of people believe that in some states, and mostly probably all of them allegedly, that when they get guys on child support, the mother could be a flat out crackhead and he going on child support because they get a kickback. They get a kickback of from that child support into the judge's pension. Some people believe, right? So it's deep, bro. It's really, really deep. And you ask yourself, why would Dak get married? Well, Dak had 2 girls with this lady. A 10-month-old, another one was a few years old. So he probably didn't want his daughters growing up in wedlock thinking it's okay that daddy and mommy ain't married. He want his daughters to go off and get married. That's what dudes be doing. I mean, Nelly said he married Ashanti because he didn't want her to be a baby mama. And realistically, being governed or being married by the government, that doesn't bond you. Let me say that again. That doesn't bond you as a married couple. You know what I'm saying? Like, what bonds you by married couple is you just having your paperwork together. You don't need the government to get married. You can have a contract and all that type of stuff. But when you get married with the government and you don't have a prenuptial agreement, they split the assets up. I remember I was talking to this chick a few years ago. She was cool. She was older. She was getting out of divorce and she had to hurry up and get out the divorce or she owed her husband money. Her husband wasn't trying to take money from her. Because if he did, they wouldn't have got the divorce done so fast. He really wasn't tripping. Most men ain't tripping like that. Most men ain't really gonna take nothing from a woman like that. If you take something from a woman like that, she did something to deserve it, right? So when we start having these conversations like that, you know, you can write your own prenuptial agreement and your own contract without the government and still have the same benefits. You don't need the government to tell you to get married or not get married. But if you want the government to be involved in that, well, my thing is get a prenuptial agreement up to 6 months before you get married. Have that agreement signed. She get a lawyer, you get your own lawyer. She called a lawyer. Y'all, the lawyers get together. It's money well spent. She get together. Her lawyer get together. Her lawyer, your lawyer get together. And y'all hash out the details. Or she want this, or she want this, and she want this, and she want that. And if y'all can't come to an agreement on that, then don't get married. Because one thing I'm gonna tell you about women, they always got an exit plan. That's one thing I tell you about women. They always got an exit plan. They always thinking about leaving. They might not tell you. You might not notice. Their natural instinct is to leave and be cowardly. And Emmanuel Acho, I put a little clip in there. Acho talking about, you know, and this could have just been for viewers or pandering, but he said that he don't believe in prenuptial agreements. If you locked in or you love a woman, and if you feel that way, you need a prenuptial agreement about her, you shouldn't get married to her. And it don't work that way. You know, women wake up one day. A lot of women wake up and don't care about you. It ain't nothing. I done seen dudes do absolutely nothing wrong. They be on their P's and Q's. They do everything right. And the woman don't want to be with them no more. They wake up one day. We see it on TikTok all the time. A lot of times we seen it through the years. And they always talk about, oh, the granddaddy's having a child on the other side of town. Them was the Pookies and Ray Rays of their days. It was just expected to get married. We also seen aunties and grandma step out on the granddad. And nobody condemned them like they condemned the granddad or nothing like that. That's what I be saying, bro. Like Acho is a tether. He don't understand how shit work. Now both his parents are like doctors. He came from money. He's saying money is really not an option. But it ain't even, I can make more money. It ain't even about the money. If I earn something and I made something and somebody come in and act like they cool with me and they took half of it or they took all of it, it ain't even that I can get some more money or I can bounce back. You know what I'm saying? And they was plotting on me the whole time. It's not the principle of it. And I feel him. He said, if you feel that way, you shouldn't get married. Stay single and cool. But in Dak's particular case, Dak wanted to get married because I'm assuming because he had daughters and he wanted to show his daughters this is the right way and this is how I want you to be treated. But guess what? Not at the expense of his assets. She could have negotiated in that prenuptial agreement. She could have. He wasn't going to just leave her out there with nothing. But fun fact, I think they say the cap on child support in Texas is $5,000 or something like that for 3 children or something like that. They got a cap on child support, like 5 G's. Good old red state, Texas. So that's what I be saying, bro. Like you got people like Acho and you got people that's in the community, bro, who just don't, who not in the American society, or they just, them tethers, they be, oh, why are y'all like this? And instead of doing research and figuring out why the world or why America's like that, they don't really care until they get took to the cleaners. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, bro, if she say no to a prenuptial agreement, no prenup, I don't have nothing to say. Because if she ain't educated on what a prenuptial agreement is, cool, that's tell me enough right there. And I'm not about to explain nothing to you or chop it out. At the end of the day, if you say no prenuptial agreement, I'm fine with that. We just gonna go our separate ways. So, you know, any girl I'm talking to, we are already talking about that. Like, if you thinking about marriage or something like, and if she walk away, I mean, so be it. I'm not mad. But this is my non-negotiable. But it's a lot of guys like Acho like this and girls. I just talked about on the Free Game 89 channel, Paul Pierce side chick. Her sidekick, that little light skin, used to be 500-pound bitch on there. Yeah, I ain't gonna need your money. I don't need you. Hear women say that all the time. And then they go for your fucking pockets. Don't believe the rhetoric, man. Don't believe the rhetoric. You know what I'm saying? Like, my whole thing is like, bro, like, if you with me, if you with me. If you not, you not. Sign a prenuptial agreement. So no matter if you feel like you build with a woman, women play the long game. When they get leverage on you, when most women get leverage on you, that's who you know who they really are. When most women get leverage on you, a child, seen it happen to so many dudes, a child, they get married. All of a sudden, dude, like, my woman wanted to have sex all the time before we got married and the sex stopped. Of course it did. She trapped you. But hey, hit the link in the description. Check out the link tree. Say find me everywhere. Find me on X, Facebook, Kick, Twitch, Instagram, the whole nine. Check out the Patreon in there as well too. Peace.